あれならやれるのでは。万民のためなんだ。許せ。
Well, it's first time we are showcasing 20 anime, and what better topic than fantasy and adventure. I was planning to make this video from so long and finally it's here. So without wasting any time, I present you top 20 adventure fantasy anime you must see. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also hit that notification bell so that you can stay updated whenever I upload a new video. Now sit back, relax and enjoy the video. Let's start our list with BUNGOU and Alchemist, Gears of Judgment. The anime follows a group of historic writers who use their special abilities to rescue the books. They are tasked by the alchemist to jump into books to purify the pages of monsters called taints. They must also rescue and recruit fellow authors trapped within the very stories they had written. I personally feel this show is not for those who are used to generic works and character development. Also, if you like literature and elements relating to historical events and characters, I would highly recommend you to give this a try. Overall, it's not the best anime out there, but definitely worth at least some of your time. In 19th place, we have ROBIHACHI. Humans have obtained light speed, navigation technology, and formed a commonwealth of planets with other species. Our protagonist is an in-debt freelance reporter with a streak of bad luck. When Lone Shark Boss sends a guy named Hachi to collect the money he owes, our protagonist blasts off into space and heads to a planet that brings happiness to anyone who visits. Even though having an average storyline, show excels in characters department. Overall, if you're looking for something light-hearted with added elements of comedy, you would probably enjoy this anime. In 18th place, we have, suppose a kid from the last dungeon boonies moved to a starter town. Well, that was big. Anyway, long ago, ancient survivors of humanity founded a village just beside the infamous last dungeon. Last dungeon is like a hunting place for the people of village. However, our protagonist regards himself as the weakest in his village in terms of magic. To fulfill his desire of becoming a soldier, he goes to the kingdom of Azami and enrolls into a military academy. However, the power he possesses might be just too much for people of the kingdom. Despite all the hate, I feel it's a well-crafted series with added touch of comedy. Plus, we get an overpowered protagonist. Moving on, we have Last Period. The Journey to the End of the Despair. Period is a term used for the magic users who beat monsters that were summoned from isolation. Our protagonist is a 14-year-old apprentice who is a part of the 8th Arcane Division. He gets called in order to break the cycle and cast himself into the endless battle. However, due to some unfortunate incidents, he and his comrades have to leave their headquarters. Now they embark themselves on the quest to rebuild the branch. I feel this anime is pretty much everything you want from a comedy show. From characters to the overall atmosphere, everything is fun to watch and silly. I highly recommend you to check this out. Coming at the 16th place, we have Princess Connect Redive. Our protagonist mysteriously falls from the sky in a continent of Australia. Soon one elf approaches and introduces herself as his guide. With her guidance, he learns about this new fantasy world. Now, in order to earn some money and survive, he visits nearby guild and start his expedition. Joined by a charming girl and cat girl, they decide to create a guild of their own. As they explore world together, the bond of friendship between them strengthens. Although not having any major plot, its simplicity and characters are the plus point of the show. And one more thing, try not to compare it with the big shows out there, if you know what I mean.
I'm tired of the pain. Go away.
In 15th place, we have MERC STORIA, the apathetic boy and the girl in a bottle. This story takes place in a world where humans and monsters coexist. Our protagonist is a healer apprentice and possesses the ability to tame monsters. He is on a quest to regain the memories of a girl confined in a bottle. So they start their journey seeking answers. I seriously feel this anime got overlooked by many people. Of course, it's not the best show out there, but if you can overlook some flaws, it's a pretty good story. Overall, I feel if you're looking for a plot full of adventure and something lighthearted at the same time, then it's a perfect choice for you. People should consider watching these underrated shows more often.
So I could feel something else. Yeah, I guess I had my bad days, but it doesn't mean I lost my style.
Moving on, we have FRACTALE. This story takes place on an island where FRACTALE's system is beginning to collapse. One day our protagonist finds an injured girl named Frine under a cliff, but she disappears leaving a pendant. Now he sets out for a journey with the girl-shaped avatar Nessa. He must find Frine and discovers the secret of the FRACTALE system. To be honest, I wasn't expecting that much from this show, but I was wrong. This anime surprised me with plot twists. Even though having some flaws, I feel this show really excels in setting up its premise and establishing the characters. A big thumbs up if you're seeking something adventurous and funny. In 13th place, we have Grimoire of Zero. In a world full of humans and witches, there exist cursed humans with the appearance of an animal. They are called as Beastfallen, and their physical powers cause them to be feared by both humans and witches. Despite these things, a light-hearted witch named Zero enlists a Beastfallen to act as her protector. He travels with Zero and a young magician named Albus and helps searching the Grimoire of Zero. If you're a fan of fantasy and magic anime, I would highly recommend you to give this a try. I feel good pacing and decent storyline helps in enhancing the overall enjoyment. In 12th place, we have GATCHAMAN crowds. Our protagonist is living her ordinary life, but everything is about to change as a transcendent being named Robinson hands her a small book called Note. It's a device that transforms her into one of the GATCHAMAN, the legendary protectors of Takakawa City. Now she must join other GATCHAMAN and stop the aliens who are trying to destroy everything. I feel with this anime, you either hate it or love it. It depends on person to person. But if you're a sci-fi nerd and want to watch something different and full of adventure, then I guess this show is gonna do miracles. I highly recommend you to give it a try if you're seeking these elements.
Calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape.
Coming at the 11th place, we have Sunday Without God. God has abandoned the world, and people can neither die nor be born. Our protagonist, who's cheerful but naive young girl, serves as village's gravekeeper. Before leaving the world, God created gravekeepers. They are capable of putting the dead to rest through a proper burial. But due to some tragic incident in her village, she decides to accompany a mysterious man who's supposedly her father on his journey. I feel the storyline is quite unique, and characters helps in achieving the perfect mood and atmosphere. If you're looking for a good story with interesting characters and some plot twists, then it's the perfect option for you. In 10th place, we have Wandering Witch, The Journey of Elena. Our protagonist has always been fascinated by the stories written within her favorite book, especially about a renowned witch who had numerous great travels across the world. Hoping to experience the adventure herself, she succeeds in becoming a witch. Now she finally embarks on her journey, where she's going to meet many people along the way and learn their various stories. I feel this show mainly focuses on its characters. This show is definitely not for everyone. If you're tired of same old-fashioned fantasy series and light novel adaptation, then you should definitely give it a try. Not the best out there, but still enjoyable in my opinion.
Into the great unknown. Let's escape.
In 9th place, we have Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Or Danmachi. Our protagonist is a naive young man who hopes to become the greatest adventurer in the land. After encountering the lonely goddess named Hestia, his dreams become a little closer to reality. With her support, he embarks on a journey deep within the dungeon. Well, you guys must be familiar with this one already. If you're not, then just go for it. Even though storyline is pretty average, but it does stand out in action and overall enjoyment. I feel if you are seeking fantasy anime with a little touch of harem elements, then you should go for it. I mean, the main character literally has a girl as his goal. In 8th place, we have Mushishi. Mushi is the most basic forms of life in the world. They exist without any goals or purposes. Mushi can exist in countless forms and are capable of mimicking things from the natural world. But detailed information on Mushi is scarce because the majority of humans are unaware of their existence. Our protagonist is a Mushishi, and he researched them in order to understand their place in the world. He travels from place to place and research Mushi. He also aids people's suffering caused by them. Before you try this show, I should say this particular anime is dialogue heavy. Also, I feel it's a beautiful adventure that they have managed to showcase in episodic format. Coming at the 7th place, we have Little Witch Academia. When our protagonist was a child, she idolized a beautiful witch whose performances used to light up the sky. Now she has entered a prestigious magic academy in hopes of following in her idol's footsteps. But she discovers that magic isn't all fun and games when her class gets assigned for a dangerous mission. She's eager to prove that she's got what it takes to live up to her idol. I feel this is really a beautifully crafted show with graceful characters, memorable moments, and creative storyline. It's definitely worth getting invested into. Even if you haven't seen any magical girls show before, it's something you can't miss. In 6th place, we have Humanity Has Declined. Due to constantly declining birth rates over many decades, human civilization is near extinction. Earth is now dominated by fairies with extremely advanced technology, and they are obsessed with candies. Our protagonist has just finished her studies, and she returns to her hometown. She gets designated as an official United Nations arbitrator. Her duty is to serve as a link between mankind and fairies, but this is not going to be easy for her. Despite some flaws with the execution, I feel the plot is very intelligently written and well balanced. I feel it's one of the best female protagonist shows out there. Definitely an underrated anime though. Moving on, we have Somali and the Forest Spirit. In a world inhabited by demons and other fantastic creatures, humans stand apart as the outcasts. But due to a war initiated by humans, only few are able to survive. One day, a golem encounters a lone human child while patrolling. Inspired by her enthusiasm, he takes the girl named Somali under his wing. Together, the duo embarks on a journey to find her parents and bring her home. In my opinion, this show is a unique approach to a fantasy premise. Excellent storyline combined with emotional moments and well-developed characters. It really stands out from the others. Some of you might have seen this already, but those who haven't, I would highly recommend you to give it a try. In fourth place, we have Magical Circle. Our protagonist is a simple boy from a village, and last thing he ever wanted was to become a hero. But when a sign appears from the king recruiting heroes to slay the demon lord, his father enthusiastically forces him out the door. Along with a member of the MEGU clan, he sets out on an adventure to become the legendary hero that the world needs. Despite the generic plot, this show is more oriented towards comedy. Also, it's a hit or miss situation with the show. I would suggest watching one episode first. If you're okay with comedy and pacing, then you'll enjoy the entire show. Also, it has that nostalgic feel towards it. Coming at the third place, we have Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. The Demon Lord's castle is a frightening place filled with various monsters. But when the Demon Lord kidnaps a princess named Shialis from her kingdom, he finds out she's a different case. The only thing she worries about is her sleep. To complete her good night's sleep, she tries to gather many potential materials to craft items that can help her sleep. Nothing can stop her, not even death. Well, that's a unique plot there. The anime relies a lot on comedy, which is perfect for those who seeking some heavy comedy shows. I feel it's a perfect remedy after watching something intense and emotional. In second place, we have Made in Abyss. Our protagonist has spent her entire childhood dreaming of exploring the abyss. It is an enormous pit and series of caves filled with wonders and terrors. No one knows just how deep the pit is, but her own mother disappeared into it years ago. One day she discovers a boy who seems to have originated from the abyss and appears to be a sort of robot. Along with him, they both decide to explore the abyss while searching for her mother and also to explore all the secrets. I feel if you're looking for a good light-hearted show with some thriller moments, then you're going to love this show. I personally love the chemistry between two main characters. Coming at the first place, we have MOGI. Dispersed around the world, there are several labyrinths called dungeons. They are said to hold mysterious treasures, and they are created by a class magicians known as MOGI. They also help people build their empires by guiding them to a dungeon. As you all know, this franchise is a mixture of several characters. In my personal opinion, Adventures of Sinbad is the only series which got overlooked by many people. I highly recommend you to give that show a try. For me, MOGI is that series which brings fantasies and magic to the real life. Full of overpowered main characters, this entire franchise is a must-watch. But you guys must have seen this already. That's all for today's list, guys. I hope you must have enjoyed the video. Show your support by dropping a like and subscribing to my channel. Also follow me on my social media accounts to stay updated. In the end, you all stay happy and I will see you in the next video. See ya.